I think that one of the aspects that Maine is trying to improve upon is recognizing the work that residents, excuse my term, we use the terminology residents, not prisoners or inmates. So residents, and how they do contribute back into our facilities and thus their living community. So recognizing that, how do we sustain the work that they put in to a true translation into skills that they can use upon reentry. So I'm going back to that education piece and going back to partnerships with the Department of Labor apprenticeship programs, so that the experiences that they can put in also translate to true experiences in the workforce in the community. So I think that's one aspect that takes a lot of investment financially, internally, on how that looks like. So one change will obviously require how you look at prioritize funding to help support that. Other ways, as we know within state governments, that funding is set and limited, is exploring opportunities through grants and other partners to see what else is out there to help support opportunities and expand upon what could be resources for the residents. We look at, we recognize that Maine is also different just in our population size. In the State Department of Corrections, there's only 1,800 residents that are currently incarcerated. And our work release facilities are unfenced. So they're very different than from what we know from some of our counterparts across the country. And those opportunities lead to work release opportunities for a whole set of diverse employers, in which pay is at a competitive rate, just like any other individual applying for that. What we have seen, though, as we provide more education on the front end or upstream while they are starting their incarceration, especially if we look at areas like the construction field, if we can provide accredited training, which allows them to be more competitive, they're seeing that benefit while they're still incarcerated, finishing their sentences by being able to show the international accreditation in that field to be a competitive employee with that agency. We also take a look at individual approaches on work skills that may be more applicable for that particular resident, but also we're looking at trends within the state as it relates to Department of Labor statistics. So we recently ventured, how do we get residents through CDL courses so that they could, again, get some real work experience at real good wages in a competitive field, because we know that our nation relies on trucking for short haul, long haul, and you name it, you name the goods. So it's using data to inform us on what kind of things that we need to be thinking for in the future, and not just those short-term, needs or things that we may think that we want. We're also exploring and listening to residents on what they want as well.